Hey guys, so today's very awesome guest. So one of our students, Bilel, like he's one of the best performers in our program, e-commerce scaling secrets. So I wanted to interview him and basically ask him like how he got to this level. So Bilel, yeah, thank you for joining me. So how are you doing? Like, so what's current like level of sales that you're getting?
So we are currently at $20,000 a day with our brand, and so with my current store, which I launched like on last August, we are already at 700K in sales. Yeah, so
This is good. This is good.
yeah,
So $819,000
yeah.
in sales. So this is since
So yeah, it started like on the end of July.
uh-huh.
We officially launched on August,
Uh-huh.
and you can see on August it was 60K.
Hmm.
Then on September it was 200. Then on October it was our biggest month.
Hmm.
It was at 450K around.
It's good. Awesome. Very good. And so just to be clear, this is drop shipping, right?
Yeah, it's drop shipping. Well, like currently we started doing some private labeling and some branding stuff, but when we got started, it was, I mean, just drop shipping. We didn't like think that it would evolve to what's what's right now. I
Hmm.
mean, we are holding some inventory, still shipping from China,
Hmm.
but it definitely evolved to uh, a more professional thing.
Hmm. Cool. And why did you decide to do drop shipping like in the first place? How did it start for you?
So the thing is that I live in a poor country
Uh-huh.
where the
I
average
can
salary.
relate. I can relate, man.
Yeah. So, like the same situation you were in, so average salary, the annual salary is $20,000 a year.
Uh-huh.
And since I'm a very ambitious person and I'm a risk taker, I know that just graduating and getting a regular job in my country wasn't for me.
Hmm.
So I decided to do something more of my
Hmm.
life, and this meant becoming a digital entrepreneur.
Hmm.
So at first I didn't know anything about dropshipping. I
Hmm.
started like looking into digital marketing and everything. Then I've heard of that cool thing called dropshipping, where you can like start doing e-commerce
Hmm.
without holding inventory. And uh, I know that it had like a low barrier of entry,
Hmm.
so I was hooked and instantly know it's definitely for me. Um, and yeah, that was like the beginning of everything. Yeah.
Hmm. And what was the hardest thing that happened to you like when you started? Obviously,
Oh,
like like a lot of people don't realize, especially people in like United States or something, like what kind of like barriers you have to go through, like just to kind of like just to get the business off the ground, just to get it started, right? Like in some countries, like I'm from Ukraine, you're from Tunisia, right? Like I was traveling, like when I first started selling online, I had to travel across the border, like just to get like a PayPal account, like because in my countries there was no PayPal. How was it for you?
yeah. I mean, the struggle is real for us. Like, so when I actually got started, I realized that I can't set any of the payment processors in my country. We have
Mhm.
no PayPal, no Stripe, no like uh, we even like have some limits on the amount we can spend online and the currency we can transfer. So it was very hard. Then the thing that was even harder was to like fix my broken mindset and make myself like a consistent action taker and believe that someone who is from a country like Tunisia can make it, can like actually make it happen and do something online despite all of the obstacles that can get on the way.
That's very good point. I think like not a lot of people are talking about like you have this kind of like perception that there's so many barriers that they just like most people there like so in my country it's like entrepreneurship is like overall like to get something off the ground, like you get so many obstacles that most people just give up after like they try a few times and then have so many obstacles they just give up and that's it, right? Like, and so
yeah, correct. And like in my country, like setting up a company like took me 2 to 3 months. It's just so hard and you need a lot of documents and they don't understand online business or anything. Yeah. So I had to look somewhere else to like do it.
Cool, man. And
but
what happened?
Like the good thing with what we are the good thing with the times we are living in is that with internet there's no limit to what someone can do, like despite all the I mean it's harder, it's definitely a lot harder than what someone in the US like is able to do, but it's doable. Everyone can do it.
It's good, man. So what helped you like with this mindset? Like what helped you? Like any books or any kind of like specific rituals that you have done? Like what, or just like taking the time to reevaluate it? Like what helped you the most?
Yeah. So I mean, after realizing that I want to do something online, I want to become an entrepreneur, I dropped out of college.
Okay.
And I realized that my mindset is just a piece of crap. I mean, it's completely broken. So I had to pass almost like 6 to 12 months on the mindset part, where I read a lot of books. Like I was following a lot of mentors on YouTube, doing a lot of self-work and trying to build a healthy lifestyle and getting the right habits in place, which built the foundation for the business, for my business success. I mean, people just ignore this part, but it's like very, very important. And like getting started to business or doing something without having the right mindset is like moving with a car with like brakes on. It's just gonna slow you up.
So what? So one foot you have on accelerator, another have you on brakes, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, like, man, definitely, man. I see you have Oiler ring, right? Or is it Oiler ring?
Yeah.
Oiler? You measuring your sleep?
Yeah. I'm tracking my sleep.
What's your sleep score?
It's
Q4. It's Q4.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Well, in Q4, it's anywhere between like 80 to like 75 to 80.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, trying to get as much sleep as I can. And yeah, it's not that easy with stress and everything.
So a lot of like one of the major like so drop shipping is the area like where people like one of the areas where people have kind of like the most issues is finding a winning product. Like how long did it take you to find the winning product?
So it took me, let's see, at least like 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't very consistent during those 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
but I also didn't have the right approach and methodology toward like product research. So what I was doing in the start, I started with a general store
Mm-hmm.
and I was just putting like random products
Yeah.
and like trying to follow the trends, like putting on some random products, doing
Mm-hmm.
Facebook ads, and if that doesn't work, I just throw the product and like try with another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then like um after those 6 months passed, I realized that it was the wrong approach, especially in 2019 and like
Mm-hmm.
beyond. Then when I had that realization and I found my first winner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like after that, I found my second winner just afterward. And now I'm confident that I can like um, find successful products at any time if I just follow the right methodology.
Mm-hmm. And I've noticed like so your products like the average order value you have is like over $100, right? So you're focusing specifically on products that have higher margins.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a lesson uh, that was like hard learned. And so with my first store, the average order value was $30.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cheap product,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it got me four to like I've seen some profits at, in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Then with scaling and increased ad costs,
Mm-hmm.
it just become like such a mess that I was losing money with
Mm-hmm.
it. And I've tried different things to bump my AUV, but it got some positive effects. I had some like small increases in AUV,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't get me to the point where I am very profitable. So it was like all the time like a battle between me and Facebook to keep ads and their KPI,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a losing battle.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And
Yeah.
so,
Then after that, I decided to go with a product with higher margins,
mhm,
and yeah, I I picked that one.
mhm. And so, like, so during that, so you had pretty much like 6 months of struggle, right, before you got like some good traction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And during that like time frame, like, have you like how much have you spent in total on advertising?
Uh, I think that I mean before that I found the first winning product which
Hmm.
wasn't profitable.
Hmm.
I think that I spent almost $4,000
Hmm.
without like being profitable or even get I was getting like um very low return
Hmm.
to like next no return, so I was very disappointed. I burnt almost through all of my savings,
Hmm.
and like it was um at certain points like I was just really I was ready to give up.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
And
you can
what got you
if you
going?
are
Like,
not sorry. Yeah.
what got you like going? Like, so when you had those moments, like when you were like almost ready on the edge of giving up, like what got you?
I think the main thing was to like see other people still succeeding,
Uh-huh.
it was a big one.
Yeah.
Then the belief that if someone is doing it, I can be doing it
Mm-hmm.
as well. So it's just a matter of not quitting and looking for alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
And since I just burned the ships and um, I went on a path of no return,
Mm-hmm.
it was easier to easier to keep going than to quit.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I mean, you quit your college, you quit your education, right? Like, there's no, like, it's kind of like the only way is forward in that.
Yeah, yeah. The only, otherwise, just my family, my friends would just think that I'm a big failure if I
Okay.
don't succeed. Yeah,
So you use basically this like social pressure to your advantage, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's good, man. So along the way, right? So you basically scaled from zero to like $800,000 in 3 months. Like, what were the major like lessons that you have learned?
So the first lesson would be to um, first differentiate yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of trying to get into red oceans where there's a lot of competition, like even with a product that's already selling,
Mm-hmm.
um, one should try to sell it from a different angle
Mm-hmm.
or to a different audience in order to create some type of blue ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and like be able to scale.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think the next big lesson is to keep an eye on finances,
Mm-hmm.
and like because with aggressive scaling you can, and especially if you don't have access to credit cards and everything,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you can get a lot of like problems,
Mm-hmm.
and like we nearly gone bankrupt in a lot of like times, especially when we started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you should plan your cash flow
Mm-hmm.
very well. And uh, yeah, what else? Also, I think that one should try to optimize the store early on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to really scale, you should be competitive.
Yeah.
And to be competitive, everything should be optimized, like your upsell sequence, your email marketing, your like conversion rate,
Mm-hmm.
like the whole funnel should be optimized from the start. Like not from the start, but once you get some traction and you have a proof of concept,
Yeah.
like you need to make everything as optimized as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to scale, like people just say that when they scale, their CPA goes up, their ROAS goes down. This is because you are not competitive enough,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's your funnel isn't resonating with enough people.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And so for you, like, what kind of like setup have you used? What kind of like payment processors have you used in your particular situation?
Yeah, so the payment processing thing took me so long to figure out,
Mm-hmm.
and luckily I figured this thing out uh, like on my previous store,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't have much problems with that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using only credit card processing, no PayPal.
No
I'm
PayPal.
using, yeah, yeah. I'm just using BlueSnap as my credit card processor,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. I mean, I'm also using the Amazon Pay,
Mm-hmm.
but not that much traffic goes through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. And so also like one of the things that you're using is Intercard, right?
Yeah, that app is just amazing. It can boost your conversion rate a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And since it integrates natively with BlueSnap, it's like the perfect app
Mm-hmm.
to our business. Like I've used CartHook and OCU in the past,
Mm-hmm.
but the features that offer Entercard, which are like um, the a split test feature,
Mm-hmm.
you so and the integrations with SMS bump and Klaviyo
Mm-hmm.
and all the retargeting platforms. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. And also like I remember you messaged like you said like okay, so you tested this, you tested this, you tested this. So it's not like you like as you said, it's not like you launch something and it's like instantly it's working and it's like you make like lots of money from it. It's constant process of the optimization. So if I improve this ratio for like 5% here, if I improve this, if I improve the click through rate, if I improve like so you're constantly in this like mode where you're I think that's one of the things that differentiates successful people like you, where it's like it's never enough, it's never like good enough, it can be even better, can be even better.
Yeah, man. Like 100%. Like in every area of life, you should be constantly improving because there's this thing called entropy in
Mhm.
life, and everything tends to break out with time. So if you don't like put in the necessary work to keep improving, you
Mhm.
are like your stuff is just going to getting worse with time.
Mhm.
So yeah, one, I mean, um, once you get the right processes in the business and the right people, they can be working on constantly improving while you save some time and relax a little bit.
Mhm.
But the business needs to be constantly improving like 365 days in the year.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think that and also like important like from you, like you always, I mean, you're always on top of things, right? Like you're always like new creative, like new things, like you always testing, right? It's never like I see a lot of people, they would launch one creative or one ad and it like they would hit a winner, right? And they would try to scale it, and obviously they'll scale it to some stage and then it's like declines, and then
Yeah.
they say the product is that, right?
Yeah, and this is exactly what I have been doing with my first store, and uh, that's one of the reasons why I wasn't successful with that one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
so
So what
these are all like lessons that are hard learned. Yeah, with trial and error.
mhm. So what advice would you give to someone who's currently struggling with their like drop shipping store or e-commerce business? Like, what advice would you give them? I mean, there are some people like that have even like brands, and they've heavily invested into those. They have products in the warehouse, they have the stock, and they still struggling. They cannot make it work. For example, with paid advertising with Facebook. What advice would you give them?
So yeah, I wish if there was a piece of universal advice that
Hmm.
I can give to, but like every business is different and every business has its own like leakages. But um, I mean, if there was some piece of general advice, I'd say um, like don't quit. The first thing,
Hmm.
uh, get the right mentors who can like help you, because when someone is like very involved in the business, um, like you can see your own mistakes,
Hmm.
and you can see like what's really lacking in the way you do things.
Mm-hmm.
But someone who is like watching you from outside, like a mentor, and who had like previous experience with what you are doing, he can point you to your mistakes and what you can do. That's I mean, I've invested heavily in getting mentors, and certainly this helped me. Also, you should keep evolving, as
Mm-hmm.
we said. It's never enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the final thing would be to learn to market correctly, because it's all about marketing. It
Mm-hmm.
you like people don't have Facebook ads problems; they have marketing problems.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So how will you do business in 2020? Like what are your plans? Like what do you see coming? Like
So I think that I'll be focusing on diversifying the traffic sources,
mm-hmm.
like not solely relying on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
because a business which is relying only on one traffic channel isn't a business, and it can like uh, be blown out in every second.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would be focusing on like um, hiring like the good persons in my business,
Mm-hmm.
like developing internal processes,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would want to launch similar brands with different products.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. So for you, like so obviously now you're hiring people to help you out with things like what, like for example, if someone is like what do you see from your experience, like what is the biggest like time saver, right? In terms of like what person can be like the most like beneficial for you when you're growing your brand? Like what kind of like position in your company?
I think that the position of um, obviously like customer support
Mm-hmm.
is the one which can save you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's more important is to bring on a project manager,
Mm-hmm.
and who can like have a good understanding of how the business is working, and who can also help manage the whole team. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is the most important position.
Mm-hmm.
And like I got this idea from your course,
Mm-hmm.
when I was going through your course and saw the hierarchy of like how you run your organization.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, instantly I was looking for a project manager, and it was like the best decision ever.
Mm-hmm. That's good, man. Yeah, I mean, it's available to everyone. Like, I mean, everyone has access to it. Like, like everyone has access to the same resources. And what amazes me is that, like, I say, like, to succeed in life, like, there are only two things that you need to do. Like, pretty much. Like, first, you need to find someone who is where you want to be, or like, find someone like who's been through the path you want to go through, like
Mhm.
take their advice, buy their advice, right? And second is take action and execute, right? Because I know people that invest like lots of money into like courses, resources, mentorship, but they don't take action. And from your like, for example, with you, we have a conversation, like next day you message me, it's done, right? Like that's what I think that's a key point, because ideas by themselves, you might have like a like $100 billion idea in your head, but if it's not like executed, it's worth like zero, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a key, like, and I mean that's like what amazes me like about you, is that like you are one of those people that just has idea, boom, execution, put it
And
to work.
I mean, it's a skill like execution. is a skill that like should be trained. I mean, I spent like few weeks where I was just trying to convince myself to take action about something or about a project, and uh, it we just like the habit of procrastination is a little bit hard to break, but once you have momentum and you learned how to execute, and it becomes easier where you have the understanding that if, like you said, if an idea isn't executed as soon as possible, like it would just vanish, and uh, you wouldn't do that. If yeah, I mean, if it's not now, you're not going to do it like later.
This is awesome, man. So what kind of like niches like would work for you, like specifically? What kind of like niche you like the most?
Yeah, definitely the beauty niche, because like it's the easiest one to um, like convince people to buy using emotions, but it's also the niche that has most problems with Facebook, and it's hard to be compliant on that niche. But I would say that any niche which you can like do proper market research in, like understand how people in that niche are thinking, what's their pain points, what's their motivation, can be the perfect niche for you. It's just about empathy and understanding how people like behave, and what's the thing that will make them make the decision to buy your product.
And so this research for yourself, like, have you done it by yourself or like someone on your team did it? Like, how did it go for you?
So yeah, the way I have been doing product research is to try to like make a big sheet with as many products as there is in the market, and which are currently selling, like 50 to 100 products. My team would help me to do it, and then I would go through them one by one, validating them using a very strict criteria. And I think it's like the most important thing and the most critical thing to your success is that, especially that since in my case I'm doing one product stores and like niche stores, it is very important to choose the right product for the right time, and also the right product for like your knowledge, and whether you are able to like sell it to the people. I mean, if because if you don't have any idea about the product, it's hard to sell it. So, and the strict criteria that I use to validate is first of all, is there demand on the product? Like, is it uh, if no one is selling it or spending uh, like advertising dollars on it, like it's not like a good indicator. And also
So like on one side you want to go after something that works, and on the other side you want to differentiate, right? So it's kind of
yeah,
like
yeah, this is the twist. I mean, this is the biggest twist. And if so, if you just learn how to find something that's currently in demand, then sell it using a different angle or to a different audience, like 90% it will be it's gonna be a winner.
this is awesome, man. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
and also like which like bring us to the second most important criteria is to ask yourself, am I able to sell that product for like a different like from a different angle,
Mm-hmm.
or sell it to a different audience?
Mm-hmm.
If the answer is yes, then you should definitely go like and invest in that product and create a store and a brand around it
Mm-hmm.
and spend advertising dollars to test it.
Mm-hmm. This is good, man. This is good. I think like audience will get a lot of value out of it. Thank you very much for sharing your insights. Looking forward to you passing 1 million mark soon.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully.
and then and then scaling with other channels as well. So yeah, thank you very much, Bilal. So guys, if you have any questions, please for Bilal. He might be able, I don't know, he's a busy guy, like he's he's scaling his store. So but I don't know if he's able to, he'll answer the questions below in the comments. And
Yeah, I will definitely take the time to answer them. I'll be
thank you.
happy.
Thank you so much for for sharing this with us. I'm very
That's
proud
pleasure.
of you. It's like, man, it's like for me it's like yeah, very
Yeah,
happy.
I definitely wouldn't be able to do it without like your help and your mentorship.
Thank
I
you.
mean, your course is full of value, especially like on the optimization side. Like once you get like some proof of concept, like
Hmm.
your course is like full of just value bombs.
Hmm. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Cool. Yeah, guys, please drop your messages and questions for Bill in the comments. And yeah, thank you, man. Hope you scale it up, build the brand, and sell it.
Yeah, yeah. The dream of every dropshipper. Yeah.
Oh man, thank you very much.
Thank you.